Hey, how's it going, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the HG Build Divers Re-Rise Gundam Seltsam, and it's a pretty awesome build. I really enjoyed this one. It's just very unique. Obviously, it's got that big giant red arm on there. It's going to be the most eye-catching, unique point about this. But otherwise, I mean, because part by part, it's really not that unique of a build. It's a pretty standard high-grade Build Fighters, Build Divers, or just kind of recent high-grade build as far as just the construction of that. But just the look of it is very unique, which I really appreciate. Obviously, once again, this is based off of the Gundam Mark III, which we don't have an actual kit of that one yet, so hopefully that'll be coming out sometime in the future. We are going to have the Gundam Tertium, which was the previous form of this model before it became the Gundam Seltsam as we see it here. So that's going to be coming out as just a normal release, not a P Bandai, fortunately. So that'll be good, coming out a little bit later. But anyway, while this kit does have its pros and cons, it definitely is very unique. I mean, the build, pretty straightforward, but the result, very unique. The weapons, it doesn't really have that many, but what we do have, pretty unique. So that's definitely what I like about this, and the color scheme as well. Also, it's a pretty unique color scheme for this, which is nice. It's always refreshing to have something different aside from just the normal Gundam colors as we see very often. So as always, guys, a big thank you to USA Gundam Store for their support. You can check out the link to USA Gundam Store down in the video description down there, as well as the coupon code ZakuAurelius10 you can use to save 10% off of this or any other model kit there on the site, so check that out. Now let's get into talking about just the few accessories we've got included here with this. So first up, as for hand options, what you see on here is what you get. That's all. You just have the big hand, which we'll talk more about here in a moment, and then just the regular holding hand on the other side. Now, that said, amongst our small handful of leftover parts, you do have this leftover hand, which is not to be used with this, which we can assume is going to be used with either some future Mark III or with the upcoming release of the Tertium Gundam perhaps, but I don't think so. This looks like it's definitely meant for the Mark III. So that's just leftover, and also we do have one leftover thruster belt as well among just our small little bits of leftover parts. Just useful because these are always useful little customized parts if you have leftover thruster belts. But as far as its weapons, the first thing here is the Hyper Dest Lance, which as you can see is going to have a seam line all the way down the side of that and then down the side of the little back half of that. So it's basically just 4 parts, 2 halves and 2 halves that just kind of slide back and forth. So it's meant to close up for when it's in its store to stay up on the backpack, and then you open that up and you can grab the hand onto there to hold this for when you're actually having it in use. And it's quite long, as you can see, compared to the height of the Gundam. It's going to be well taller than the actual Gundam itself. And while it is very simple, I like just once again the fact that it's just kind of unique. We've seen kits, especially like with the Kimaris and other Iron Blood Orphans kits, come out over the last couple years that have used giant lances like this, but they're still pretty cool, pretty unique weapons. And we have this little connector piece here, which you'll just plug into the lance like that, and you can use that to plug it onto the backpack over here. Plugs into the backpack, and then it's stored up like that. And I like the way that it stores like that. You would think kind of normally maybe it's stored vertically along the backpack, but the fact that it's stored up over the shoulder and like just across the back like that is a pretty cool, unique look. And then we've got the shield binder, which I guess is this part of it, and then the folding Dest launcher, which is this part of it, this cannon inside of here, which will fold out. You've got this long cannon, which barrel folds out like that, and then the handle, that part flips up, and then the handle flips up out of there for holding onto that. For this is going to be plugging onto the backpack and going up underneath the arm, and then having like that. So again, really cool, unique weapon for this, and then just plugs into the backpack with this little mechanical arm we see up over here. And down here we have our what looks to be our beam saber handles, but in this case we're not using them at all with this kit, so they're stored up in there, and they're meant to be just sort of beam emitters. And this kit doesn't come with any beam effect parts, so you couldn't really do anything with that. That said, just to try, if you take one of your standard 1/44 scale beam saber effect parts, it does fit into there perfectly. So if you do want to take those out, the problem is that they're really difficult to take in and out with this cannon here. So if you want to have this like actually holding a beam saber or something, you can take that out beforehand, and then you just get your spare beam saber effect part if you got one lying around, and it does fit into there just right, so that works. And so once again, this one as well just plugs in here onto the backpack like that, and then so it can move side to side, and then it can extend out and up underneath the arm like that. And it works really well. Very simple design for this, but it's got all the right points of articulation to just keep it simple. That said, you do have a couple of just hollow spaces here and on above the Dest lance here, hollow spaces there, and of course hollow spaces inside the hand there. So you are going to have some hollow spaces on this kit, unfortunately. that's again, just this combination of weapons, just the way that they're stored up there and just what they are in general is just such a cool, unique blend of weapons. Now we do have one last little accessory here, and that is this little backpack adapter piece. Now this is just a backpack adapter that will be able to plug into just any sort of normal recent high-grade kit that uses this 2-plug backpack adapter. This will basically give you the ability to plug those backpack weapons from the Seltsam here into the sides of this adapter piece onto the back of a different mobile suit, as long as it uses this 2-plug system. Alright, so then let's take a look at some of the articulation of this. Now first off, just for the foil stickers, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 up there for like the front of the eyes. You got one for like the actual like regular eye sticker, which is up in the back there, and then this one that goes on the yellow part of the V-fin, and then the 2 pink ones that go on the front mask part on the front of the face. You do have one more sticker there on the back of the head back there. And as for the head movement, it's just on the double ball joint polycap up there, so you can get it kind of up to maybe about there, which is not too bad. It's kind of cool when you can actually see the Gundam's eyes in there. I'm not really too big of a fan of the mask parts on the front of the face. I kind of wish that it was just kind of the standard face, and also the V-fin as it is, it's cool, it's unique, but I would just kind of prefer just a normal V-fin. That's it. I don't know. I think you know, the uniqueness fits well with this thing over here, but I'm definitely looking forward to the Gundam Tertium coming out. So then as for the stomach section here, you got a little bit of forward and back movement here in the stomach, and then you got some rotation there. Around here on the backpack, without the stuff plugged onto it, it's just very simple, just like that. These little thruster bells will fall out pretty easily, so as I mentioned in the in the live stream build, I would recommend just going ahead and gluing those in, because they're just plugged in just by a little peg here, and just anytime you're touching the key, you're going to be loosening them up, and they're just going to be falling out over time. Now for the regular arm over here, the shoulder articulation will move front and back pretty well like that. It has the polycap joint in there that will swing forward. Move the shoulder armor up, and then ultimately bring the arm up to only about 90 degrees there. That's going to be the upward extension of the arm there. And then the arm is a little unique in that it doesn't rotate there at the top. It actually rotates down here below the elbow, so that'll bend there. As far as the elbow joint, that will just give you just about 90 degrees. That's about it. So a little bit disappointing there in the elbow. But the nice thing is that we do have no seam line here. On the front here, that seam line is just molded as a panel line there. So that's not a unsightly gap there. That's just how it's meant to be there, with that looking like it's supposed to be a panel line. And then the red part is just a solid piece that goes in there, so there's no seam through that. On the back of the arm, the seam is covered up by this piece that covers up the back of that. The same thing for the upper arm as well. That seam line is just meant as a panel line, so they just kind of got you covered with that. And that's pretty much the case for most of the kit, except for the back of the thigh. The front of the thigh, once again, they're hiding the seam as a panel line, but on the back, it's not. So you just have a flat surface there on the back of the leg that's meant to be removed there. It's not meant to look like a panel line, but you might as well just turn it into looking like a panel line if you wanted. Anyway, the wrist then is just on a ball joint, and then let's go over here to the big arm. So this one is going to be a little bit more unique. The polycap there at the shoulder is going to be the same, so the forward and back movement is going to be the same with that. This section here at the top will move a little bit up and down on its own like that, and just again, this thing is just missing color apps all over the place. So well, it is a kind of a problem with other areas of this kit, especially on here on the arm. Definitely painting in some of these tubes and details around here will definitely help to break this up, because it's missing some colors definitely. But anyway, that's got some rotation there at the top, and then a bend here sort of at the elbow, but that's actually kind of where it's meant to extend. But anyway, if you just meant that to just be as like its elbow bend, it's gonna bend more than 90 degrees there, so it's pretty good actually. But this is also where the arm will extend out, so you can fold that out to its full extension here. And I'm worried about how well this is going to stay in the shoulder when that's extended, if it's not going to cause any weight issues. But at the moment it seems okay. Once we get something actually put into the hand, it's holding onto the lance or something like that, I'm guessing we're probably going to have a little bit of weight issues, but we'll find out here in a moment. Down here for the wrist of this hand though, you've got it's just attached into here via a ball joint there, but then this whole section will rotate in and out like that. As for the fingers, basically just the 2 side thumbs are connected, and those can move together like that, and that's the only movement that we're going to have in this hand, unfortunately, which is pretty disappointing. It's an HG, so you wouldn't expect it to be like really super articulated, but a little bit more I think definitely would have been pretty nice. Now that said, if we take the hand apart, you can see this is basically molded like a set of front skirts, where you have the 2 ball joints there which will keep it apart, but it is molded together in the center. So what you can do, just like a set of front skirts, if you want them to be individually articulated, you just snip it apart there in the center. Easy enough. pop them back into place there like that, and then replace the cover here on the inside. And then there we go. At least we've got individual articulation of the left and right side thumbs here for this, so you could do something a little bit different with that anyway. Alright, so moving on, the front skirts will move up and down. You could clip these apart as well for individual movement if you wanted, so kind of like the fact that you got the little cutout section in there. It's pretty cool. These side skirts over here are a little bit interesting because of the shape of them. Now, because it's got this like part that goes in the back there, it kind of gets in the way a little bit depending on how you have the leg posed. If you have the leg posed any certain way, then that can't close up like quite properly all the way, so it's kind of like sticking out on the side. And the way to get it like properly aligned here with like the front skirt like that is just to have the leg like straight down, which is just kind of rare. You're not really ever going to want to pose it like that, so the side skirt's a bit strange. As for the back skirt here, very wide open space to add in some details or a nice big decal or something on there, paint something on there, that'd be pretty cool. You have some hard points here that are going to be for using with the Gundam Tertium. This kit doesn't really use those at all. But the cool thing is that up underneath the back skirt you have at least this separate gray piece there to give that some more detail, so it's not just a big hollow empty space on the back of that back skirt, so that's pretty cool. The whole hip joint up inside there will rock back and forth like that. And then up at the top of the hip, we've got some just rotation of the leg there. These can come out to the side pretty far. Depending on how you angle the hip joint there, you can get the leg all the way out to the side like that, which is pretty nice. Forward, it's only going to come up to about there, but if you bend it so that the knee is out of the way, then you can definitely get that up a little bit higher like that. And then as for our knee band, we do have a double joint there, but it's only going to give you a little bit more than 90 degrees just because you have this big piece here on the back of the leg, which is kind of getting in the way. Here on the front of the leg though, we have this cool little gimmick where that folds out and you've got another beam gun emitter sort of little thing there, another weapon that's up there hidden inside of the front of the leg, which is pretty interesting. This other little purple bit there at the front of the ankle armor sort of, that doesn't go down, just moves up a little bit like that. Around on the back of the leg, this part will fold up and you have a thruster rail up inside there. This part will also fold up a little bit like that, and you just kind of have some kind of tubing detail up in there. The ankle will move side to side just a little bit, not really a whole lot. Forward pretty well all the way up to there, and down all the way to there. That seems to be about the extension of how far it's going to go backwards, which is not that much. Underneath the feet though, we don't have any hollow gaps there. Fortunately, it's full detail, so that's nice. But alright, as we take a look at a few different posing options with this guy, I think you guys are going to see that, yeah, the kit looks really cool at a glance. The weapons are really unique. Obviously, once again, the colors, the design, the big giant red arm, it's just got a really cool, fresh take on a kit, and so it's really interesting in that if you're kind of getting bored with building the same kind of thing over and over again, the actual building process of this, again, is not really all that different, but the end result, I think, gives you a really cool result. Now that said, there are, of course, a couple of flaws as we went through. There's plenty of missing color apps, so it definitely could use some painting, and there's some hollow spaces in there if you're the kind of person that doesn't really like those. Not really the worst things, as those are pretty easy to fill in, and the seam lines overall are pretty good. It's overall pretty lacking in seam lines, as most of them are covered up as just being panel lines, so Bandai was kind of looking out for us a little bit on that one. So it kind of depends a little bit on what you're looking for as a modeler, but as a kit, I'd say overall it's definitely still much more positive than negative. Those few negative things are kind of standard things that you would pretty normally expect for an HG kit, really, to be honest. So while there are a couple of notable negatives, there weren't really anything that caught me by surprise. It wasn't anything that I wasn't expecting for an HG kit. And so as always, for me, it just comes down to how it looks when it's all posed up and everything, and it looks really great. It looks awesome. Like I said, I really like the design of this. It's so cool. And yeah, so I'm really happy with this kit. And if you guys are also into the design, then I'm sure you'll be plenty happy with the kit as well. But if you have any other further questions or comments, of course, feel free to leave those down below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you again to USA Gundam Store for their support. So that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.